So you know something. I was here for 2 minutes talking to myself. My computer is blocking my screen here. I have two computers, and frankly, you probably could see my mouth moving and realizing I'm not talking because I was on mute. Um, Thanks for joining me. We are a little bit late. Jason, no, there's audio. It's me not me put myself on mute initially. This is supposed to be the Man of Steel show, talking about JPL transfers and EPL transfers, but he's not here as yet. And he says 6:30. We should call him late man versus Man of Steel. It's interesting. Not sure why he's late, but and I don't know much about JPL transfer actually. I know about some about the EPL transfer. I wouldn't even call it a ton, but I don't know a ton about what's happening in JPL. So I'm hoping that he gets here because he promised to be here at 6:30 and he's still not here. But you guys know I can go off on a tangent, right? So if he doesn't get here to talk about JPL transfer, I may do a little bit EPL transfer, but we'll probably talk about other subjects which are on my mind. In fact, I probably will do that actually because I think I was watching TVJ the other day, and they were talking about the situation with the reggae girls, and I saw where Dennis Chung mentioned that the girls had indicated they're not ready to come back as yet, which I found interesting, and that the girls had wanted for the a chance to look through all the payments and calculations. I assume to make sure they were accurate before they sort of finalize the discussions with the JFF. We still do not know whether or not all the payments have been received. I think Dennis has been on this program 3 times to talk through this, and still yet haven't given us clarity. Even though every time he comes on, he says, "Oh yes, it's close," and it never gets close. But before I get more into this discussion, I'll say, bless up, Siobhan. Is that 50-50? I think so. Kevin, Jason, thanks for joining us. As you can see, I started this thing all discombobulated because we were a little bit late. I was on mute, but still talking. So obviously no one could hear what I was saying. But I appreciate you being here. So back to the point I was trying to make around the girls. Maybe there's no rush, frankly, because as we know, there's not a lot of women's football to be played in terms of official games. I'm sure they will have some friendlies, but in terms of official games, they're not going to be in the Gold Cup because of it. Bless up Sherman. Obviously, they decided not to turn up for those qualifiers, and the replacement team did not qualify. So obviously, that's not in play. And we don't know if any friendly has been organized, whether for replacement players, excuse me, or for the girls who went to the World Cup. And I'm sure the next team to be put in place will be a combination of some replacement players along with what I'm going to call the regulars, meaning the people, the girls who have played in the World Cup or played in the qualifiers for the World Cup. So that's still out there to be resolved. And the election situation doesn't help, right? So that only exacerbates the problem in terms of getting the JFF in place, running the football, and then subsequently resolving any situation which would be outstanding that needs such resolution, such as the girl situation. So hopefully none of these things will affect the upcoming Nations League game, which is actually next month out in Arlington, Texas, where we'll have the Reggae Boys playing the US and hopefully go on to play the winner, play in the finals. And as I speak, I see Late Man joining. I'm going to call you Late Man versus Stephen. Well, how come you guys are always on Jamaica time, Brian? I don't understand. Can't hear you, Brian. Can't hear you. Still can't hear you. So maybe it's me. Hello. I'm not hearing you. Maybe it's me. Can you guys hear Brian? Let me know in the chat. Maybe it's me. Claudine, Claudine, you're not listening to Claudine. I said that Chung said the girls said they're not ready. What do you mean I don't know? I don't know. I just said what Chung said. Brian, I still can't hear you. Can you guys hear Brian? They say you're muted, Brian, even though I don't see the mute signal on your thing.
You're hearing me now?
Yeah, yes. Now we're hearing you, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was saying I was trying to get the link. I was trying to join on my computer because you sent the link to my phone, so I was having a little bit of a challenge there. So that's why, yeah. It's not really Jamaica time. It's just an unfortunate circumstance.
Brian, you can take the link. You can take the link, copy it into your email, and send it to your computer, and then send it, and then click on, right? I'm sure that's what you did.
Yes, that's what I did. But I'm saying, initially, I was thinking I could join with my phone, but then it wouldn't be as smooth as possible. So I.
Well, yeah, but like a flip phone. You have a flip phone?
No, I just have a regular Android.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm not sure why you can't just click it. Anyway. So how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. It's been a rough day. Somebody said they're not hearing me though. Ernest,
I'm hearing you now. You guys are not hearing Brian? I'm hearing him.
Well, if you're hearing me, then I'm assuming they will as well.
I'm hearing you. They're hearing you now.
Oh yeah, so yes.
Maybe a later.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm good. I was watching a EPL game today. I was hoping the Wolves would have, did us all a favor, but.
Oh, you're watching that game. So you heard earlier, Manning's Manana had dispute about Anana's ability on the ball, right?
Yes.
Playing with his feet. Did he look like someone who can play with his feet today? Was he pinging 40-yard passes even to Hoyland deep in his own in the opponent's half on his chest from 50, 60 yards? I thought so.
Yeah, but I didn't agree with Management that he's not. I just think the fact that he's not been doing well as a goalkeeper, so it just compounds everything. But I think he's a pretty decent ball player. Which is surprising though, because I saw something today that De Gea may go to Dortmund because he's been a free agent since July. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, he's been looking for a team. That's kind of sad actually. He was a Man U. He's not even that old, frankly. So
yeah, but I'm saying if a goalkeeper that was arguably one of the best keepers in the world at some point, it's kind of challenging to see that he's not able to find a club. Well, or maybe he's not attracting the clubs that, probably can pay him big wages and stuff.
Yeah, he started at Man U very, very slow in his first year. Ferguson stuck with him, and he was brilliant subsequent to that, actually, for most of his journey. And the last year or two in his contract, he had some challenges. So, yeah, but it's you're right. It is sad that he's not old, frankly, especially from a goalkeeper standpoint. But he's been spent so long. He's been at a Man U since the summer, and just possibly finding a club. So it's your show. You're going to talk about, is my understanding, JPL transfers. And EPL transfers.
Oh no, I'm I'm not so, let me say no, I wouldn't say verse, but I don't quite follow the EPL transfers as much outside of activity around Chelsea.
Well, I can say this about EPL transfers, people, which is FFP's biting hard. And last year, I think the EPL spent about 800 plus million pounds. They haven't spent 100 million this transfer window. But the last check I checked, it was 40 something. May have gone up over the last today, actually, but it's been FFP's biting. So, and the Everton being docked 10 points brought that into reality for people. Let them realize that EPL is not playing when it comes to staying within the boundaries of FFP. So we'll touch upon that a little bit. But
question to you before you go. So the whole FFP thing is almost a restriction put in place to ensure that persons spend in terms of what they earn in relation to what they earn, and they don't just go out and spend any amount of money they want.
Yeah, basically. So what they don't want to happen is what happened to Derby, right? Which is it went to administration. You spend more than what you have, that you earn. The owner can't necessarily supplement you. And then what happens is you run to administration, which is basically into bankruptcy, right? Or you have so much money that you can buy any player you want at the detriment of all the other teams. Or in buying all these players who are great for all the teams, you do that at the detriment of the locally developed players. So there's like three main reasons. They only talk about two, but it's three main reasons. So you may go bankrupt because you're trying to compete with someone who has so much money. You may have so much money you can buy up all the best players, and so it's anti-competitive. Or you may have so much foreign players being acquired, it doesn't give the local players a chance.
Yeah, but if they have the rule in place, Mr. United, I'm a Chelsea supporter. So if they have the rule in place where they say you must have a certain amount of locally developed players, then I don't think FFP is needed for that because
No, it does. So here's the thing, though. So, and this is what England's running into now. So, think now you have to have 8 players in your 25-man squad, whatever it is. But think about it this way: if you buy so many excellent players, the 8 players may be at the end of the bench and never get a chance to play. Right?
well,
If you're
also there is no
right, you'd be like a Real Madrid who have an academy, a really good player go to Real Madrid. Frankly, how much local players are Real Madrid develop? Barcelona is different. Real Madrid doesn't really bring true players. They go buy up all these players because they have unlimited funds.
Yeah, but is so I would think maybe a rule to ensure that local developed players are getting playing time would be better than.
But you can't mandate that. That doesn't make sense. You can't mandate it for a team. You can't tell me to pick my 11 best players if they're not part of the 11 best players.
No, I'm not saying, but I'm saying they must accumulate certain amount of minutes before the season ends.
No, you can't mandate that. That's what you can't mandate. But
Okay.
the main reason FFP supposedly is about people spending within their means. You make $10, you shouldn't be able to spend $50. That doesn't make any sense. That means you're $40 in the hole. That doesn't make sense, right? So that's the main purpose. But the other ancillary aspect to this, which people don't talk about, which is part of that whole equation. So, for example, Newcastle probably has more money than any other team in the league, and they have FFP problems. Right? They have major FFP problems because they have bought the Guimarães and the Isaacs of the world. They've overspent. Now they may have to sell some of those players to be able to ensure they stay within the boundaries of FFP. So it does make it a more level playing field, actually. So we have digressed into EPL. We should stay with JPL. So if you're not here to listen to JPL people, well, you should.
No, man, the people them will listen, man. Yeah, you know what's the funny thing though? As Mr. Fresh got dress up. So the hardest thing, like one of the hardest things to do from a Jamaican perspective is to find out information about players who have transferred.
You mean in Jamaica?
Yeah, like so the window closed, and you will know that a player has left when you see him play for our next team, or you don't see him at all.
Well, that's kind of so. Why is that such a secret, though? What's the big deal?
I'm not sure because eventually, if a player is playing for a club, you'll see him. So
exactly. Or if he went overseas, you're gonna know he went overseas.
We do have a very big, and we do have a very vast market in terms of gap between players. So, I mean,
well, maybe we can ask somebody like Rudolph if we ever get a chance to talk to him. And Rudolph, by the way, people is Mr. is
surprisingly. So I was doing some checks. So Cavaliers of the 14 teams in the JPL, I think Cavalier and maybe Portmore are the only teams that have not necessarily acquired any players, and they are the youngest in this transfer window, which is quite something to behold, because they are think Portmore and Cavalier are the two youngest teams in the Premier League now.
Well, isn't Cavaliers always the youngest team?
Yeah, but Portmore is not too far off now. Like I think with the exception of Rudolph Austin, he kind of brings up the average.
If they got Rudolph, their age is the youngest.
Yeah, they could be close at the Cavalier, I think.
First guy is saying Veer is the youngest.
No, I put it to you that Veer is not fresh guy.
Well, Speed always seems they're bringing through.
Well, I guess Veer is younger now, but they're not the youngest.
So where does Speed get all the best young players? Because they have to be the best young players to be always at the top and being so young year after year after year. I think there's a strategy at Cavalier, which is buy young. Huh?
You have to ask the leader.
Well, it's where they buy young, develop them, sell them on, and replace them.
Well, the truth is, as a business, when you get the players at a young age, you don't necessarily have to pay for them, you know. You pay like an administrative fee. And most times, you don't pay that.
Well, Speed seems to indicate that they don't have a transfer budget per se. So you're right. They probably don't pay any transfer fee. Maybe some ancillary administrative fees. And then when they sell them on, it's pure profit, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I get in a sense because I think like to sell a player from Jamaica, going overseas, sometimes the clubs don't make as much money as people think because especially the clubs in like Europe or some parts of Europe, and especially with the agent too, they always firstly they generally want to loan Jamaican players because I guess they don't trust their development yet, so they want, it's like a trial and error, so they always want to loan them, and then sometimes they promise to at the end of one season they purchase them. Sometimes they don't, and so the player ends up coming back after a season or so. And so things like training compensation and those stuff, there's always some requirement asking the clubs to sign away that. So you sign like an agreement to say you won't claim training compensation and stuff.
So here's an interesting question, actually, which is similar to the American concept. Should it be a draft of schoolboy footballers? Because they're now matriculate to the JPL, don't they? At least the better ones do. Even though some are playing in the JPL before they even leave, actually. It'd be an interesting concept to say, is there a draft at the end of each season for players into the JPL?
I think the draft may be a little difficult because we don't have a franchise league. Right. So what would be the benefit of me participating in a draft?
So, but the draft would have to be holistic, right? Apply to the entire league. And the concept of the draft system is players get assessed based on their ability. The lower placed teams, even though the difference with America is this: America doesn't have a relegation system.
Right? Yeah, so they have a draft system. They have a franchise system.
They have a franchise system. So the franchise system, then you're right. We don't have a franchise system.
Yeah, you don't have a franchise there is a benefit to being to being in the draft because sometimes you can persons trade their draft spaces away or those stuff. So
the franchise system, the lower placed team have a chance to compete because they get the chance to pick the best players from for example, schoolboy football would be like the colleges here. So if your last place team, even though you don't have that here because you have relegation, you don't have a franchise system, as you said, you get to improve yourself through the draft. Here, you got to be able to go out and source players and recruit them differently, right? So how do you get the best players? Is it that you pay them? I think Man of State is distracted. How you get the best players in Jamaica from schoolboy football? You compensate them? Is it who give them the most money? I think Man of Steel has frozen. You're frozen, Man of Steel.
Yeah, Kranky, you froze just now.
Yeah, I froze or you froze? I freeze or you froze? Go ahead.
I don't know.
You
But
look like you froze to me, but maybe
yeah,
I'm
you
not
were
froze.
you were asking how you get the best players.
Yes, from schoolboy
I'm
football.
saying you have to know a leader.
But I thought there were four coaches now that under the JFL, whoever has those coaches across the island. Leader doesn't cover the entire island, does he?
That's for that's for the purposes of the JFF academy. But I'm
Okay.
saying as a whole, like leader has a very good network in terms of picking players and getting young players too. He's very good at that. He has a very good
So
way
leader,
of forging relationships with young players and their families and stuff.
but if he does that though, is it that the relationship is formed pretty early in the player's career, player's playing life, so he can.
Sometimes, so like for example, like Busy, yeah, I think he knew Busy from he was like 8, 9, 10, thereabout.
Okay.
And other players like Chevron Marsh and those players. He has a because the thing is too he especially in Kasafa I know that I don't know if he still does, but he used to watch a lot of like under 13 and primary leagues and those stuff. So he's good at it though, to be honest. He's good at it.
So does the clubs pay him for his services? Can be free.
Leader?
Yeah,
Um
that seems like his full time job.
I don't know if I don't know what to say to pay him, but I know that Percy, I don't know if they pay him per se, but there must be some benefit for him though, especially if players like are sold overseas and stuff.
Man, say by my
And
house.
he's I don't know if leader is an agent, but I know that he advised players. I think that is something that's lacking in Jamaica too. I think um, a lot of the players are not so knowledgeable about some stuff.
Well, look, at the end of the day, I'm a little bit surprised that players are not saying, if you want me in your club, you have to pay me a certain amount of money just to sign with your club first. And then
Yeah, but I mean players. Yeah, I mean players do that, you know. But I mean, some you have to look at it in terms of um, the ability to pay too, because save and except for one club in the JPL, I don't think the clubs are able to pay the players necessarily what they want or what they would like. But I mean, you have players who earn fairly good salaries in the JPL,
what
but
is a
those
fair,
are like top
what's a
players.
fairly good, what's the average JPL salary in
I
US
don't know.
dollars? Because I can't translate Jamaica dollar in US dollars. What's the average?
In US dollars,
What's the average JPL salary? Yeah, because you say it's a good salary. The average compensation in Jamaica is, I think, it's $12,000 per year for the average person.
all
I think it's
right.
about
So
12,000. The last time I checked was 12,000. May have
for
changed, but
the for the JPL, US dollars, um, give me a minute. Let me let me do a rough check on something. I'm gonna use the recent bank rate, so that's probably 155.
I think that's about 1.8 million Jamaican dollars, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
So give me Jamaican. I can translate it, or I can recalculate it.
Average,
Average, yeah.
maybe about 55,000
What do you mean?
Jamaican.
What do you mean 55,000?
Jamaican. You said average in a Kranky, so I'm thinking, all right. So I used to be actively involved in a JPL club where I know the salaries of players. So I'm using that.
Is that about weekly?
Along,
Is that weekly salary?
no, I'm
So
using
I said
that.
the annual. Wait a minute. Back up.
You said the annual.
The annual compensation
Oh, annual.
You make
Oh.
1.8 million. What's the annual compensation for someone in the JPL?
All right, hold on.
You tell me 55,000, I wouldn't go to work. I'm not playing no ball. I'm not playing no ball.
Jamaican dollars.
Yeah.
It's less
Or
than
is
a
that a
million.
month? Go ahead.
It's less than $1 million.
It's less than a million?
Yeah. On average, players earn less than $1 million.
So they're making half of what the normal person on the, that's interesting actually. I don't know what the median is, but I know the average is
Yeah,
about
so that's and then you find that sometimes the players who play in the JPL they also have other jobs too.
so
So
Travis is saying it's 55 to 300,000.
per month.
That wait 1 second. Yeah, that's what Travis is saying.
Okay. Well, Travis used to be in a JPL club, so he knows.
So 300,000 is a month. So it's about $2,000 a month now. So call it 500 a week US. So then
Give
maybe
or take.
24, 20.
And I mean, some clubs have like incentive programs and those stuff too, which impacts your salary. So I'm guess, but really not cranky. You see, based on the Jesse Guna, yeah, me know too. Me said that already. I'm saying based on the structure of the league and stuff, it's a little bit difficult for players to earn like the 1.8 that you're saying
All right.
because in terms of like revenue, um, if you were to say, I think the clubs get like $1 million a month on average from the PFJL as part of some profit sharing model. I don't even know what the prize money in the JPL is, and so and then if you have other sponsors and stuff, and if you have a venue where you can host games and you get good turnout on a weekly basis, then yeah, it's possible that you could be able to pay players more though.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
given our current structure, and I think that's one of the things too that influences. Yeah, Jason, good. Don't worry about it, man. I think that's one of the things that influences um, local club personnel or people in the JFF2 to always want to try any means necessary to try and get players sold. And for a long time, that means us trying to get local players in the national team so they can get caps, which hates them being sold overseas because really and truly, except for that, or if your club qualifies now for the CONCACAF championship, you will find it a little bit difficult to cope.
so that's why Speed can do well because Speed must be paying those little young kids something to be able to get all the young. Wait, first of all, get all the young kids because he's always qualified for something. Whether it's selling players, come off Champions League. So he has good ways of generating revenues, and he's getting $1 million a month from, as you said. So he has multiple sources of revenue that allow him then to be a feeder club for overseas, but at the same time bringing the best young players. Maybe he's paying more than most clubs are paying for those young players.
I mean, one of the things too, sometimes, like maybe some of the young players, I think they just want an opportunity though, you know. So if there's a medium where they're getting playing time where they can expose themselves and they're in a system too that can allow them to translate overseas because sometimes you have players who are in clubs who are doing well and they are to be transferred overseas and the clubs is unable to facilitate and stuff like that. So yeah, those things too. And then you have some clubs too who charge exorbitant fees for players to go overseas, not really realizing that we are not really at the level to be commanding those fees, and so those things act as a turn-off too for players, for clubs overseas and stuff.
I think what they should do, I can understand clubs being concerned that they set up the overseas, that player go ahead and play really well. the club that buys the players can then sell on a player for a significant amount, as you see with like a Caicedo, for example. What you should do is insert a couple of things. One is a sell-on clause to make sure you're going to benefit from any significant fees that they may get, right? So you sacrifice now for later. So if you sell a player to Macedonia or somebody's in Indonesia, you can't charge exorbitant fees because they may not have the resources to pay for those players, but you incur a 30% sell-on fee.
Yeah, I think no more than ever that is a viable option now, and maybe more clubs are more, I would say, willing to enter into that engagement. But
or what you should do actually, which is a better strategy, is insert a buyback clause. So if I sell you the player for 20,000 US, I say I'll pay you 30,000 US to buy back the player, and it's over an extended period with the view that the player will always going to be selling for significantly more than $30,000 going forward. I may have a combination of a sell-on clause and a buyback clause. So I have right of first refusal if you sell the player. Or it's right of first refusal, but I have a criteria about how much I can buy the player back for. You have to protect yourself in any way you can and make sure you're maximizing revenues from those players that you develop, frankly.
yeah, I mean, hold on, Kranky. I wasn't saying Vera was youngest. You know that Brian said Vera was youngest. Okay. Yeah, Fresh God. I wasn't saying that Vera was youngest too. I was saying that they are younger relative to years gone by where they were not so young.
Yeah.
Travis is saying Cavalier don't pay as well. Oh, okay. Travis, you know what Cavalier pays players?
I don't think anybody knows what Cavaliers pay anybody. Speed say he doesn't have a transfer budget, so therefore he must have money between what he gets from the leagues he play in plus selling players. Who sells the most players? Is that Cavaliers overseas? Is that Cavaliers?
Overseas recently?
Well, just in general, they said the last 3 years. Is that Cavaliers or
3
something?
years. Yeah. Because they sold like, when they say sold, they mean move players. Because what happens sometimes, some of the players.
But a combination of loan and actually sale, yeah.
Oh yes, so yeah, last 3 years, yeah, it would be them.
Okay.
It would be them. Which is what is surprising to me that, especially in this window, I didn't see them bringing a whole host of players, except for the players who left and came back, like King and Atkinson. And I saw a young player there by the name of Matthew Ellis. I don't know if he came back in this January window, but I saw him started to play in January. He's one of those kids that was in the Mount Pleasant Academy at some stage too. And he's in Cavaliers. So, yeah.
So in the last 5 or 6 years, what's been the highest transfer fee paid for a player when overseas? What's commanded the highest transfer fee in the last 5 or 6 years?
I think he would be Mount Pleasant.
Any one player?
Yeah, because they sold Trivante Stewart to Italy, Syria.
So how much they sold him for, you know?
I can't say.
What do you mean you can't say? Why don't you tell me?
I know, but I can't say it.
Is it a secret? Why is that a secret?
Because that information was shared to me in confidence.
Okay. But it's not okay. Rephrase that. Is it enough money? Is it enough money?
Relative to what players have been sold for, yes.
Is it more than $1 million US?
$1 million US?
Yeah.
Can't say. It's more than $1 million Jamaican.
I said money.
Truth be told, players have been sold in Jamaica for more than $1 million Jamaican dollars, though.
No. Wait, back up. $1 million Jamaican dollars is not money.
No, I'm saying in our scenario, hold on, leader, we have no idea how much Whisper is worth. Okay. Well, fair enough. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so I don't know about that, so I can't comment. But I know that I think, hold on, well leader said it's less than 4,000 US,
Less than 400,000
400,000.
US. It must be US, can't be Jamaican.
So leader, join the stream, leader. Come tell us about the transfers. But I think, to the best of my knowledge, in a single transfer, yes, in the last 5 years, yeah, that has been the highest.
Yeah, if you go into Syria, you got to be commanding something. You should be the player should be sold for less than $1 million going to Syria.
Less than $1 million US.
It shouldn't be less than $1 million US.
How much is that in Jamaican dollars?
Probably 150.
150 million Jamaican.
Yeah.
He wasn't sold for so. It was less than that. $1 million US.
It should be less than $1 million. You go into Syria, that's not like you're not going to MLS. So the player it should be less than $1 million to me if it's going to Syria.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's arguable though, because maybe the club wants to build a relationship too, so they're giving up now to earn more in the future.
Yeah, build it by building my pocket too. I'm not gonna build a relationship. I'm not building a relationship.
Leader said 200 to 300, I think. 200 to 300 what, leader?
For Stewart, he's saying he must be saying US. It must be US money because it's not Jamaican money. I would assume that it has to be at a minimum the hundreds of thousands of dollars. It should be actually at a minimum. If you're going to buy somebody in Syria, even though it's not the most premier Syria team like a Milan or Juventus or Inter or Napoli, but still, and some of those clubs have the budgets are not the biggest, but it has to be a decent amount as it relates to how Jamaican would think about those type of funding.
And that team was recently, send leader the link. I don't have the link. Kranky, send leader the link. Yeah, leader number Kranky.
No, I can drop. I don't normally drop links in the chat. I'm gonna drop it.
No, let me send it to you.
Yeah, I don't normally drop links in the chat.
Leader, when you come on.
When you come on, I'll drop off because I won't get a chance to put a word in. So leader,
I'll inform him. Leader, I'm informing you now that you are coming on here. Leader, I said to the league.
Bless up S Technic. Bless up.
Yeah, formula. Big up, bro. Big up.
Yes, leader. Come and give us some inside information that Man of Steel is on here to do and refuse to divulge information. I don't know why he's here. Okay, if you ain't gonna tell the audience what you know, talk about it's confidential.
No, I'm saying I know what he was sold for, but I am unable to say it publicly. I don't. It's not a matter of being unable to. I don't think it's my place to say.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not gonna push you to that. But I was gonna try to find a roundabout way for you to tell me, but you refuse to give me any information. That's fine. You sound like Dennis Chung, though. You sound like Dennis Chung because I Dennis Chung 10 different ways, and he still is not telling me the answer. So that's
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but
I won't say. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, but I think, truth be told, though, I think in recent times we've had quite a few players gone overseas. I saw the player from Cavalier that left last season, Webster. He and Colin went to the same team, and so their team was at like the bottom of the table or the bottom half, and a team that was challenging for the title, they brought him in this window. So
okay, yeah,
and
Travis for security reasons, and I can understand that, Travis. So, and that's not a joking matter, by the way. I can understand that why people may want to keep those things confidential. If players are getting a certain amount of compensation.
The Jamaican players?
Yeah. Maybe both those who live there and those who have moved overseas, because they do come back quite a bit, some of them. So
I put it to you that the reason it's not made public, it's not for security reasons.
No, we can. I'm sure there are different reasons, right? I'm sure there are different reasons. One may be that you just don't want people to know. There could be tax situation. There could be a lot of different reasons why you don't know. Who knows what those are?
So the purchase price could have been that range, 100K USD. Okay.
Oh, so he's using transfer market and the actual price of the place is material different most time.
Especially from Jamaican context. I don't think they have the most.
From every context.
Right.
Because they use a lot of stats to inform the price.
Yeah.
A lot of times that price is not the price. For different reasons, the price may be much higher, much lower. So they're using a lot of different stats and information to inform the number they come up with, which makes a lot of sense. That's how you value a player. When you think about how good the agent is, the demand for a player, how much teams want the player, all those things get added into the equation in terms of what the ultimate price of player is sold for. So, but it's a good starting point to figure out what may have been his market value. And that market value may have changed when you get to the league, frankly.
Yeah, and based on your playing time and the performances and stuff too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I think, personally, my own view is that I thought he should have.
So, leader, you're coming on the stream, are you afraid people see your face? Because I always come and try to put up some picture, make it look like you're cool. Go for the stream.
Leader.
I lead up with like my young boy with bag over my shoulder.
Leader.
Yeah, good night, leader. Good night.
He was a JFF scout, you know. So you have to show your face. So when the players them see you,
right? So the players
impress you.
So, yeah.
When the players them see you, them can impress you.
So leader, we can't hear you, leader. Good night. How are you doing?
Good night. How are you?
I'm doing good well. Night. I'm good. Question to you, leader.
Yeah.
Not question first. Statement. You know that Kerry said that you are his favorite panelist.
You know, I didn't know that, but that's why I was telling you people you have to pay for, an appearance fee. I think I'm going to start charging, some of the various shows, an appearance fee. Yeah, man.
Who's favorite panelist?
Kerry.
Oh, he did say that. But it had nothing to do with him and how his eloquence or anything of that matter. It's more of the fact that he's a recruiter and Kerry like individuals who have those skill sets.
Okay.
So he would bring him, it's the information he brings is not necessarily, just leaders. It's the information he brings, which is useful, actually. Very useful. But he did give you that. Yeah.
Question. Did Matthew Ellis was transferred back to Cavalier in the January window or was there before and just started?
He came back officially in the January window. He basically was there from last season and then he was transferred out, spent a little time at Mount Pleasant and decided that's not the place where he wants to be, and he came back home.
So how many players did Cavalier bring in the window? Because I saw Wilberforce there too. He came in January.
Wilberforce. I don't want to go. No, Wilberforce was. I don't know if I should really speak about that case because Wilberforce officially was never transferred out.
Leader, okay. Let's
not. Can I say something, leader? If you're gonna come on the program to provide information to the general audience, you can't say everything is a secret. That's confidential, right?
Okay, what I can say.
What's up to work with?
Okay, what I can say in the situation, he was never. If Wilberforce has always officially been a Cavalier player, that's all I can say.
Yeah, make a move past him because
he was always a Cavalier player. Just leave
it at let us move past the kid.
Right.
Okay. All right. So Atkinson came back in January, and King. Who else came back to Cavalier? That's a large secret, Who else came back to Cavalier?
No, I'm not going to speak much on the actual senior team, I'm not going to give you much on that.
Who was leader? The transfer window closed already,
Yeah, well, those players have been there. They went away on a loan, right? Because one of the things, what Cavalier tries to do, is that we provide if a club wants to get a player, but they don't want to pay a transfer fee. Because one of the problems a lot of people don't know is that there are a lot of people out there that want the players, but they don't want to pay. So they try to get the players cheap, and then a little bit after you notice the same club that buys them for say 50,000, whatever, you see them selling the player for 250,000 6 months later. So it's one of those things. Yes.
All right. So make about a complicated issue. Fresh God is saying Orlando Brown was signed to. Which Orlando Brown is that?
So, wait, one second, right? So, leader, I have a question. I have a lot of questions, leader. Here's my first one. Here's the first question for you. Are you an employee of Cavalier or a consultant?
I will not answer that, sir.
So let me just say this. Leader said we talk about Cavalier. You use the pronoun we, leader. That's why my ears perked up as I asked the question. You said we. So that means you're part of Cavalier's establishment and organization, correct?
I will not answer that question either, sir.
Leader, you're not in court to the leader.
No, okay. Everybody knows that I play a significant part with the youth program.
But I'm saying
no, Travis. I haven't. I'm going down the list. So Mount Pleasant, they brought in Shaquille Bradford. I don't know if they brought in anybody else, but that's the one player I know that they brought in the January window from Waterhouse. So that's one. Mount Pleasant are at the top of the league as well. They have a very deep squad, and I suppose they may not require any more players. But they did bring in Shaquille Bradford. Oh, and Daniel Green returned from loan.
You spoke about the team that brought in the best, one of the best strike forces in the league right now. The 3 top players that are at Montego Bay. You spoke about them?
Leader, I am at the top of the table.
Okay, no problem.
Mount Pleasant brought in Shaquille Bradford and Daniel Green. And there's a kid from Trinidad there by the name of
Jules.
Avery. No, Avery. No. Avery's there. But he was I think linked to them from the summer. But there was some clearance thing and he wasn't able to play until January. And they had one player leaving the window. Troy Jules, he's a Dominican national. He's on loan to a team in Scandinavia. So, which is unusual. Normally, Mount Pleasant would flood the market in January, but I think they have moved away from that.
Well, they have a player going in March.
Okay. So that's it. I think and I heard Devontae Campbell was on a trial at Charlton. Yeah. Brian Man, I heard Shaquille Cario left for Suriname. That's why Bradford as well. Okay. Thanks, Travis. And then to Portmore, I am not aware of any player that Portmore brought in this window. I couldn't find any players that they brought in this window. Yeah. Same for Cavalier. I know that King and Atkins returned. I saw Matthew Ellis. I don't know of any other players. And leader won't tell us anyways.
Well, there's a young third string goalkeeper that came in, but he was he was still with the club, but he wasn't. I wouldn't say he's back. He just came back up. Yes.
Okay.
And it looks like he'll be able to put some pressure on the other two.
Fresh God, I don't have that up. I was trying to download it, but it wasn't working out. I'll try again. Arnett Gardens.
They got a player from Cavalier.
Who is that?
Murray.
Ricochet Murray?
Yeah.
That's a good transfer. Ricochet Murray is a good player, you know.
Yeah, man. Arnett is looking very good for the latter part of the season. I can tell you. I think the top 4, any one of them slip, even drawing a match now, it's really tight.
At the top?
Yeah, the top 4 is basically, I think the top 4 is decided, you know. It's just who is going to be first, second, third, and fourth. Because
I think the top 5 teams will be in the playoff.
I say 4. I'm going to just stick with the 4 because anything, I think even with 5 can be knocked, but 4, it looks so tight there. And because one of the things a lot of people need to realize, everybody wants top 3 now, at least. So even if you don't win, people want to get.
Leader. Hold on. See your boss here. Rudolph, Chad James went to where? Arnett? Because Chad James does not Mount Pleasant, Or you're
I think
saying
Chad James is at Cavalier.
Okay. So leader, we just say don't know, brother. So you go when Mr. Speed talk, you know now. Mr. Speed, tell me some more things so leader can know. Because you just say don't know a while ago.
I just told you, Nick Shane worried that you didn't know.
Big man, you just say you don't know who come a Cavalier. And now you have Mr. Speed to Chad James, and you say you know.
No, you didn't. You never know. You're wondering where he went. I just confirmed with you that it's Cavalier. You didn't know.
Leader, you sound like a politician,
I just assisted you in making you know exactly where, because he was wondering if it's Mount Pleasant or where. So I just telling you, confirming for you.
Yeah, Kranky, give me 1 minute. Give me 1.
Okay. So leader, I was asking. I'm not going to delve into. Brian is going to be talking to you about the different teams, the different transfer. I need more information. But we can't talk now because Rudolph is in the chat. But talk to me later about that. Because I want to know if you're an employee or consultant or advisor. I need to understand these things because when you say the word
I don't understand it.
When you say the word we now, that means...
Hold on. What club do you support, Kranky?
We're in
the English EPL. The EPL.
Arsenal.
So I'm sure when I hear you talk about Arsenal, you say we. I've heard you.
Yes.
I have heard you.
Yes,
we.
yes.
So what position do you hold at Arsenal?
I am not a professional football person, I just run my mouth. So, but
you say we. So you say we.
Leader.
You have people that when they talk about Arnett Gardens, they say we, and I see them at like at Lime Hall coaching and so on. So the people, when you say we, it can mean this.
Leader? I'm a fan. That's why I say we. Are you a fan, leader? Are you a fan of Cavalier?
Fan?
Yeah.
I'm a fan. When you talk about the senior program, yes, I can call myself a fan for the senior program. Right, yes, I think so. I think that would be very accurate. I'm a fan of the Cavalier senior program, for sure.
Are you a fan of the Cavalier, the club, the organization? Are you a fan of that organization? You support the organization. Do you support them?
Of course. What's that?
Do you support the organization?
I support Cavalier. I like the Mount Pleasant concept also. On that they're not doing it.
Do you support Mount Pleasant or you like their concept?
I like the concept.
Do you support them?
Right. I like the concept that Arnett Gardens has where they give those young players a chance. I like their concept also. Cavalier has carried that concept to another level.
Right.
Right.
So do you support Arnett Gardens? Do you support Mount Pleasant?
I support youth development.
So we're going to go back to my previous question. Would you say you would call yourself with Portmore we? Would you use the word we to talk about Portmore?
No, I don't think so.
Would you use the word we to talk about Arnett Gardens?
I don't know. What's that?
Would you use the word we when you talk about Arnett Gardens?
I'm not really that much of a fan of Arnett Gardens.
But use the word we with Cavaliers. I'm going to go back to my earlier point. Use the word we with Cavaliers. So therefore...
Just like how you use we when you talk about Arsenal, sir.
But I would never use the word we with any other club in the UK. No other club uses the word we with.
But there are other clubs in the UK, apart from Arsenal, that you like their concept, though.
Yeah, but I would never call myself because I'm not a fan of theirs. I may like how they do their business, but I'm not a fan of theirs. I'm only a fan of one club.
So you just answer the question. Basically, you just answer the question.
No, I want you to answer the question.
I told you I like the concept of certain other clubs, how they do their things. But I love how the Cavalier senior program is.
Yes. But you're a fan of Cavaliers, all right?
Yes. I love how their senior program is organized.
But you're not a fan of Portmore. You just support the concept.
Actually, the coach at Portmore is my very, very, very good friend.
But I'm just saying, you're a fan of the Good Friends Club. Are you a fan?
If he goes tomorrow, right? Yes. And another player that used to play from Cavalier also leaves, I really wouldn't have any interest in even following a match for Portmore. I don't think so.
No, I understand it, but you're not a fan of Portmore, though, regardless of the player you like and the coach you like. You're not a fan of theirs, are you?
No, not really. No.
Right. So you're a fan of so you're like, oh, I'm with Arsenal. You're that way with Cavaliers. Cavalier, I should say.
Okay, Kranky, I assist the Cavalier Youth Program, Cincinnati Club.
Okay.
I assist the Cavalier Youth Program. I'm
I'm
integral in the
picking up.
Cavalier Youth Program,
I
but
mean,
I have nothing to do with the senior program, sir.
Okay, but you recruit youths who then matriculate or evolve.
I don't recruit youths. I give them opportunities.
What do you mean?
I give them, okay, Man of Steel is there. He can verify that I have offered youngsters opportunities at the club that he formerly managed. Isn't that so, sir?
I think I think that's the case. I think you have said that before.
Leader, go ahead and repeat.
Mr. Mighton, is it not a fact that I have recommended players to your club, young players, youth players, very good, by the way, not ordinary players, top quality players to your club? You got it on, sir?
That are there now?
I didn't say they're there. No, it's no, hold on. If I recommend them to you and you don't act on it, that's not my fault. But I know I recommend them to you.
Yes, you have.
Okay.
It's my last question, leader. It's my last question.
I give you, because I want to give youngsters opportunities.
Would you say you're a fan of Mullines?
Not really, but the former manager, I look at him as a friend that I can call and say, yeah, man, the former manager. But no,
leader. Because when I get back to the JPL transfers,
yeah, man, let's go back to the JPL. Man.
These youth development, these position youth for success. Is it out of the goodness of your heart, or you get compensated?
Look here, I have been doing this.
Yes or no, leader. I'm sorry.
I have been doing this from 1999, right? And I have gotten, I can tell you, hundreds, probably all thousands by now, youngsters into schools and getting them opportunities. And I'm not looking at that. If I didn't do it, I would probably be in politics. Okay, so I like giving youngsters opportunities.
You're saying you don't get any compensation. Is that the goodness of your heart? Is that what you're saying?
What's that?
You're saying you get no compensation for your services. It's just how.
Well, let's look at. Hold on. Let me just answer it this way. I'm sure when I recommended youngster to Mr. Mighton, there's nothing I'd be getting back from it more than to know that the youngsters would have gotten an opportunity. I wouldn't be getting anything at all. I
wouldn't ask you about Mr. Mighton. I'm saying in general, just across the board.
I've recommended players to Mount Pleasant. Yeah. I've actually helped with the transfer of players there. Not one, more than one. And I haven't been compensated. And these are top quality national players. So, no, man, I do these things. No, not everything is not for money, sir.
Well said, Jason.
Everything is not for money.
He's saying politics would suit you, leader. Your answer them come in like equations more time. So what they're saying is hard to decipher your answers. I wouldn't call them, they're very complex. I mean, the word complex to be nice. Some may call them, they go around in circles, and we come back with our heads spinning.
No, I'm just telling the fact of the matter. No, the fact of the matter. I do.
That question says, as follow-up question, do you ever get compensated for your services as relates to recommended youth to a team, helping players get to the right destination? Do you ever get compensated monetarily for your services?
Yeah, from sometimes. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But that type of compensation is
because you're generous. You do something because
I probably give out more money than what I get back. Okay, so let's look at it that way.
Yeah, so you have a day job then. You have a day job.
Of course, football is a hobby and a way to give back to youngsters. No, sir, football is not any full-time thing. No, man, I work in the media,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I work in the media for years, so it has always been a matter for me to give back that way. I was actually almost recruited for a political party at one stage until the gentleman that was trying to recruit me died. We're not going down there. No, man, we're not saying which party. We're not saying which party, man.
There's no boundaries. We have no boundaries.
But we'll just look at making a difference for kids. That's basically it. To be honest, we're not really interested in helping. Once them pass a certain stage, you just try to make them go on the right track. So, boy, them not coming out there for go juke it down and thing up on the road. And so you want to see them at least make something of themselves. At least.
I think that's very noble of you, leader, and we applaud you for that. So now we can go back to
yeah, man. Go back to the business, man.
So Rich Arnett got it now. So lead Mr. Speed said leader said them get Ricochet Murray. I know that Fabian Reed returned in the January window. I wouldn't say Kaim Dixon returned, but he started to play in January.
Did he play apart from playing at Chapelton? Did he play before? Or he was just registered back there? Because when he left Chapelton, did he actually play for Arnett?
No, he didn't. No, he made his debut on the other night.
So it's his debut. That's his debut. So, well.
He's a new player.
Yeah.
Scored on debut.
So you can basically say he's new. Transferred from last season. But
he scored for the national team, local squad, versus, I think, Cumberland. Yeah. So that's that from Arnett Gardens. Oh, leader, I see why you say top 4 in the world. I think the top 5 teams still. Yes, CC Sports Lab, the window closed yesterday at 11:59.
How long does the window last for? What's the period for the window?
From that one was from January 1st to 31st.
So it's a 1 month. Yeah. So you have 2 windows, the summer window and the winter window?
2 windows, yeah. So the summer window was from July 1st to September 9th, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Tivoli Gardens. So I only know that they got 1 transfer. They transferred Steve Clark from Mullins. So he's at Tivoli now, linking up with his former coach, Jerome Waite. Same as other leagues around the world. Yeah, Fresh God, more or less. Because I think, like in England and those stuff, that window closed on August 31st or September 1st. But the JPL one went to the 9th of September. I think they probably would have asked FIFA for that extension or for that period. I don't know. But I know it closed on the 9th of September. Surprisingly, Waterhouse, I know that they released some players, but I don't know of any player that they signed in this window. Leader, you know of any?
No, not offhand. No.
So, yeah. So that's basically top 6. Leader says the top 4 will be in the playoffs. I'm putting it at the top 5 teams will make the playoff this season. Yes, Tivoli signed Visional Harris. Yes, Tivoli signed Visional Harris. I don't even know where he was playing, but I know Tivoli signed Visional Harris. Done Beholding signed Kevin Graham from Limehall. Will tell you his name. Wait. Fresh God soon tell me. Okay. So Done Beholding, they are 7th. They signed Kevin Graham. Yeah. That's a centre back that was playing for Limehall. He's been around the league too. I think he played for Mount Pleasant and Rivoli and Tivoli and
Done Beholding last go to Portmore, by the way, just remembering.
Yes.
He's in the under 20. They lost him.
Let's go.
Right.
Yes, and Portmore brought in his player name that used to go to Dintil, Giovanni Affleck. Yes, Travis, I'm aware Nicky Daly is at Done Beholding as well. Transferred from
Waterhouse. Sorry, Brian, but I know we're talking transfers. I'm interrupting, but people say I missed their comment. Omar said I missed his comment. So, Lida, you see that comment on the screen?
No, I wasn't even looking at the screen, you know.
So it's there now.
Okay. You have to go answer that to finish because Leader go give them algebra and
So remember this question, leader.
Yeah, make it
After
stick.
about JPL.
Yeah. So Nicky Daly is at Dundee into
Daly
Travis.
needs to settle down. He needs to settle down, man. He needs to focus and settle down.
Travis, I don't know where you get your information from. I don't know about that. 7th place, Mobe, Montego Bay United.
They were busy.
Yep, I think they said they brought in 7 players in the transfer window. So returning to Mobe was
Brian Brown.
Brian Brown. Well, Brian was here from start of the season, you know. Brian was not in this window. Brian was here from the beginning, yeah.
Turtleman was not there though.
No, he wasn't. So they brought in
Right, and
Jordan Fletcher, Owen Gordon came back from the USL. They signed a player by the name of Josiah Trimmins or Timmingham. He's a Trinidadian international. He's a centre back. I think I saw him play recently. And they brought a player by the name of Gregston President from St. Lucia. And they also signed a goalkeeper from Treasure Beach, Kerry Holmes. So those are the players that joined Mobe in this window that I know of. Brian Brown was there before from the summer because he played early in the earlier games. So those are the players I know that came to Mobe.
I think that front line, that front three that they have right now, you know, is really potent.
Brown, Fletcher, and Gordon.
Yep, very formidable. It's experienced, has a lot of power, and they can bring the goal. So look for Mount Pleasant to probably make a run for it.
Mobe leader, Montego Bay United.
Montego Bay, yes.
Next up, we have
Are they 8th place?
Yes.
Place are they?
Yes,
They're gonna make a run for what? They're like, aren't they like 15,
top 6?
14 points out of? Oh, top 6. Okay. Well, they
remember we have had teams that are outside the top made it just in the top 6 and won the league, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So Veer United. Veer signed Lorenzo Lewin from Treasure Beach. He used to play for Humboldt at one point, I think. Travis. Yeah, Courtney Allen went back to Mobe. Yeah, from Harborview. Yes. Courtney Allen. Courtney Allen used to play for Cavalier too, right, leader?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Portmore and Huey, I think.
He actually left from Cavalier to Montego Bay to Harbour. So he's been moving around. Some of these players need to do a little settling down though.
Leader, where is Marlon the Maxwell? You see that Mobe?
Wow, you know,
Mr. Speed,
I'm
where's
wondering,
Marlon?
you know. Good question.
Because I know he was at Mobe at one point. They bought Veer bought.
I think he's at. I'm not sure if he's at a tier 2 team. You know, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. Okay. So Speed probably might know.
Veer bought Javon Smith. I think he used to play for Humboldt. He used to play for Humboldt. They got Dean Andre Thomas from Dunby Holding, Damian Thomas from Mullines, and Jaheim Harris from Arnett Gardens.
So a question about the question, leader. Is there a reason why we don't see the transfer fees paid for each of the players that transfer between the different clubs or transfer into the clubs? Leader?
Sorry? Well, locally, a lot of times, you know, some of these transfers are negotiated, right?
Every transfer is negotiated.
No, negotiated means they swap players. Okay, and you know, there's sometimes some clubs have agreements with other clubs where they don't really even charge, for some of the players being moved.
Right.
But generally, when the big ones do go down, I think, well, they actually don't even publicize them at all. Even the big ones. Because you have had some $1 million transfers in the Premier League and people haven't heard about it.
But why is that the case, actually? Is there a reason for the secrecy?
I don't know.
It's a trade secret.
I can't say, but I know for a fact that you have had transfers done for the Premier League that it's even more profitable than going overseas. I've known clubs that have made bigger transfers just to local clubs than what they would even get going overseas of players.
Big up safe funds.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it from here. Humble Lion. Fresh God. I just know that I see a whole host of players at Humble Lion. I don't even know where them come from. Which is surprisingly, I saw Humble Lion play a 17-year-old recently. His name is Swaby. Yeah, Fresh God. Which part of them play? I see these players, but I don't even know where them come from. I don't know if he's Humble Lion. Oh, Veer got Nathaniel Ho. He left Humble Lion and joined Veer, I think. Yes. Nathaniel Ho. He's a player that used to go to Central. Oh, Sherman's got his saying they are schoolboys. Okay. Oh, so they are from the parish of Clarendon? Because I don't know anything about them except I see them playing for Humble Lion. I think I saw a player named Zidane Christie. Yeah. So I wasn't too keen on the players that
Cleo Clark has moved to Humble Lion.
Yes, from Cavalier. Yeah. Clear move in January? Yes, January, yes.
So why would you move from Cavalier to Humble Lion? What? Playing time?
He lives in Clarendon though, so I guess. He's from Clarendon.
Top 6 and one team is fighting not to get relegated, right?
He's from Clarendon though, so Nitro, that must be the comment of the year.
You have to can't find him first.
Well, at least the good thing is the coach would see him.
I was reading an article today which said somebody was writing that they believe, and it was an international article, that Rebel is I'm going to use their own term, the biggest waste of talent ever in football.
Yes, Fresh God, Chandal and this. He came from a team in St. Thomas, John Humble Lion. So he scored. Brian Lee is the type of coach. Oh, Sherman, you are saying Cleo Clark left. So Speed is in the chat, ask him why Cleo Clark leave. So he must say undisclosed amounts.
So Rudolph, why are these things undisclosed, Rudolph? You guys want to promote the league, you should be trying to broadcast as much things as possible.
Fresh God, Asani Barnes, yes, from Dumby Hole into Humble Lion. Yes, goalkeeper. Livingston Walker. Yeah, Livingston Walker used to play for Greenvale Academy. Yes, he joined Humble Lion. Yeah. I think that was a move from the coach, because I think the coach used to coach him at Manchester High.
So what's the biggest surprise in transfer window so far?
The biggest surprise for me would be Bradford from Waterhouse to Mount Pleasant.
Wow.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, that one shocked me.
Because he was on loan from Waterhouse to Harbourview. He was Harbourview's leading goal scorer. He was on 8 goals. He was their leading goal scorer in the club championship. And based on the plethora of strikers that Mount Pleasant has. I never expected that move.
Okay.
Because they even had some of those attacking players like strikers and stuff have to be playing like as a cam or a winger to be able to play.
I had to ask somebody about Akwesa Chung today.
Yeah, he's there. He came back from where? Denmark. He's there. They brought Marlon Allen from Arnett. They had Bygrave, Daniel Green returned. So when you have those four strikers could arguably make most of the teams in the JPL easily. And so if you have those four, it was kind of far-fetched that you would have brought in another striker who could arguably make any other JPL team too.
So here's a question, which is, do I buy up all these players so no one else can have them?
That's
It
one.
works. It does work.
Yeah, but the teams. So in a situation like Bradford, he was playing for a team that is not going to challenge Mount Pleasant's
No, but
title.
someone else could buy him, right? Someone else could bring him in who's in the top half of the table.
I don't think any other club could.
Maybe bring something to the table that they believe that their strikers they have in play today don't bring to the table.
So. So Devon Porter is saying Bradford trained with my club last summer in Canada. Okay.
So here's the question: are any of these transfers game-changing transfers, meaning they can push a team up the table or get the team over the top?
Only the Montego Bay.
Okay.
I think
they brought 7 players, right? So that's a lot.
Yeah.
But how do they blend 7 players in a team when they are new to the team?
Well, I mean, one of the things too that will help with their chemistry is that they have like a residence, so all the players can stay in one place, especially the overseas players. So
Right.
that helps with the chemistry and the whole bonding and team building and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think that Montego Bay will now be pushed up the table and may be in the top 6?
They're
only 4 points out of 6th place. There's a big gap between 5 and 6, though.
No, they are 1 point from 6.
They are? Maybe I'm
It's
looking at the wrong standing.
3 points. Oh no, 4 points. Yeah, 4 points.
That's what I'm saying. But between where they are and say 5th is a big gap, isn't it? So you only have 1 slot you can occupy, right?
Yeah, unless they are hoping that 5th place will go on a bad run.
Is Tivoli in 5th? Who's in 5th?
Yeah.
Is that Tivoli? That's a big gap between Tivoli and the 6th place team in Waterhouse.
And and you know that surprisingly, I think this season when I've watched, I think Tivoli is one of the most entertaining teams I've seen. I mean, just the way in which they play and they go about their stuff. They look really good this season with Jerome Wade there.
So I have a question actually for both you and Leader. Is Cavaliers always in the top half of the table because of the coach or because of the recruiting system or both?
Both.
So you say Rudolph can coach, is that what you're saying?
Both.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest, even though he's honesting, since he has done his license, I give him a whole heap of ratings. And I think he has said
so. Back up. What happened before he had his license? Because he was still in the same position.
He won league before he got that license.
He what?
He won the JPL without that license.
No. He had started it before that, sir.
We're talking, Leader.
The license, the CONCACAF, I think he started that from as far back as 2019, sir. Improvement started from that time. I'm telling you, I know. I remember.
Enough license. We have.
You are talking about the B license, Leader.
Listen, listen now. What I'm saying, I saw the transformation from 2019.
His B license. That's what I'm asking you.
I don't remember which one he got first. Whichever one he got first, and when he started, even before, I personally had a front-hand view to see the
But he done
transformation.
the stream, so he can tell us if he won the JPL before he got the B license. Because I know him won it before him get the A, because he just got the A.
No, it's before he got the A. I don't know if it's before the B, but he look here, Mr. Speed changed. I saw his training change while he was doing at least the first license, CONCACAF license that he was doing somewhere around 2019. I saw the change, and I'm not asking you. I know I saw it up front.
The change when he's trying to get the license, or the change. I'm not sure I understand.
With how the team started. Okay, let me tell you something. Normally in the past, I would normally say that the Cavalier junior teams played better than the senior teams, because a lot of people don't know that the Cavalier junior teams have won. You can't count the amount of titles, youth titles, home and abroad.
Okay,
so
Trevor.
the only thing was for the transition to be made for the senior program. And since all of our younger players have been transitioning into the senior program, and Mr. Speed has gotten that exposure through the license, it's a completely different team. I'm telling you.
So Brian, you hear what leader just said?
Yes. So what leader is doing?
Use the word OUR. You hear that again?
Yes.
Right?
So hold on. Leader is very much affiliated.
Yes.
With Cavalier youth teams.
Yes.
So he's purporting.
But I told you I have nothing to do with the senior team, but I tell you that.
Leader, allow me to make my point. You are purporting that since Mr. Speed has gone to do his license, along with the youth players who you are heavily involved with, coming to the senior team, they have looked better. There's nothing
no. But he said the junior team played better than the senior team, right? Is what he said.
Yes, but he's saying since they have had the influx of the junior players, the senior team is now looking good, along with the coach who has improved his qualification.
Because look here, normally think about it, Cavalier has been playing matches without how many players? For almost half of their regular starters are gone, and they have been playing matches, right, since the other day, because we have 2 that went on trial, then you have another 3.
Hold on, leader.
Under 20.
Hold on, leader, hold on. So Kranky, your leader say again, we have.
I know.
No.
Okay.
When Kranky says Arsenal and we have done not well, so come on. Let's not go there.
Leader is back this tongue. Leader is a Cavalier affiliated. We all agree with that.
I have nothing to do with the Cavalier senior team, where is 100% factual.
That's fine, but you are supplementing. You're bringing in the players that are matriculated to the senior team. So you can't say
that's just coincidental. Hold on.
No, it's
Mount
not
Pleasant.
It's a program. It's a process.
Do you realize that the Mount Pleasant Academy is not directly connected to the club itself, the senior team? Do you know that there is almost a gap between the two?
Leader.
Deliberately.
No make go down that road, leader.
But I'm just saying, it's a two separate entities.
Right.
Yeah,
So we can be technical all we want about the legality of the entities and how they're structured, but Cavaliers senior team gone a lot of its players from its junior team, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Fresh God, where you say Marlon Allen? Where you say Marlon Allen and what's the name again?
Who is that?
What the guy with them buy from Arnett Guard, his name? Look at paper on the wing, man. Them call him what name? What is his name?
Hustler, you talking?
What's his name?
He's that. Oh gosh, what Hustler right name is again? I don't remember Hustler right name,
Anyways, Kranky. See, Speed said he's the best coach in Jamaica.
Who is the best coach?
Him said, I am.
And I would tell you, even if I had
He means the best
Them
coach.
married.
no, listen,
He has the most accreditation.
no. Which other coach could lose 5 players and bring in a schoolboy, literally to play to start in the last match and get a no. Come on, man. That's not something easy to do.
But that doesn't
A
mean you're
lot
the
of
best
coaches.
coach leader because you do that. That doesn't mean you're the best coach.
Hold on,
How do you determine who is the best coach?
hold
What
on. It
criteria?
is unusual worldwide. Hold on. Worldwide, it's not a normal thing to field a starting team of so many players under 23 years old. Do this, do your checks, and the next time we are on the live, you tell me how many big teams, right, in whichever, because this is the top league we have here in Jamaica. So whichever top league in any country, tell me how many teams you are going to see challenging, and the majority of their squad is under 23. It
Yeah, but
doesn't, it's not a normal thing that's done. It's
think
not.
about it this way
And to
though.
be successful while doing it is it's honestly, it's not something that you're going to see. So whatever concept and whatever Mr. Speed is doing, because when I saw him lose 5 players, it's even more than 5, because there are other players that he would have brought in to augment the players that he lost, that he also lost for the under 20. At one stage, I was asking him, why don't you ask for a postponement? Because I think you have a legitimate reason to ask for a postponement, because you have more than 5 players in the under 20. So you could actually probably get a postponement. And he said no. And he went ahead and he shot me. I'm telling you. I can tell you, he is definitely the best coach.
Okay, so I love Rudolph's humility. I love his humility. If I say so myself, but I'm not saying he's not a good coach, you know. I am just basically saying I'm not sure how we judge who the best coach is. Now, so some people judge coaches by championship. How many championships has he won in the last 10 years?
Senior and junior?
No, talk about senior.
Well, he has been to a number of finals with some very young teams. I think more than anybody else.
That was not my question. How much championship has he won? Like most coaches judge on championship, you know. Bill Belichick is judged on championship. Right? That's how people try to judge a lot of coaches. Right? If you're Guardiola, judge on championship.
Question. Hold on there. Question. Kranky.
Yes.
So by going to, hold on, by doing something which is totally out of the ordinary in any football circumstance with an under 23 team, right, and being so successful, that does not make you a good coach?
Kranky, the answer to your question is 1.
Okay, so here's the point of that leader, meaning it's about facts and circumstances, right? So if I've not been put in that situation, it's hard to judge whether or not I could also accomplish the same thing that the person put in that situation has, right? It's not saying the person is not a good coach, you know. It's saying it depends on the situation. So some coaches don't want younger players because they don't want to go through that process. They want the more seasoned, experienced players in their team. Some coaches want finished product. Guardiola, for example, want a finished team. He doesn't want to build a team. He doesn't want to develop. People say he develop players, but he always getting a player who's already very, very good to be in his team. While Klopp would probably take a lesser developed player and develop them. So it depends. But my question is, how does one say he's the best coach, given all the other coaches out there, when, for example, he's only won 1 championship in the last 10 years? Lenny Hyde, for example, has won more than 1 championship in the last 10 years, right?
Individual matchups. Okay, hold on.
But
individual matchups. Right? Let's look at individual matchups. Right? Individual matchups, right?
What do you mean individual matchups?
No, I'm going to give you one now. Okay. If you look at when he lost in the Premier League the other day, right? And you look at, I think sometimes people do this and you put a value on the team that one team has, and you put a value on the next team. That say one team has a team that is valued at say $20 million, and the next one has a team that is the valuation is 500,000, right? And the one that is at 500,000 is able to compete and actually push the one that is valued at 200 million to the wire. Right. That's a big, accomplishment right there. There is no, it's unbelievable, and that I think that is very close to an example that I could give you, right? Because if you look at the caliber of national players, the value of the players, that came together when Mount Pleasant played Cavalier in the last finals. It's David versus Goliath, and yet Mount Pleasant was not able to steamroll. They got by Cavalier by the odd goal.
Right. Look, I'm not saying Speaks not a good coach, or he's not the best coach. I'm just saying, asking the question, sort of playing devil's advocate, which is, how can we call him the best when his resume, even though it looks good in terms of his team always being at the top of the league or close to the top of the league, he matriculate players away from get players overseas on loan or selling them. He's always replenished his team, so he has consistency in terms of how his team play and how well they do. But he only has one championship to show for all his efforts. Aren't championship also a means of judging a coach in terms of?
Okay, hold on. You see, the thing is now, when you have these same other teams competing at, you can't leave the junior part out of it, when they are participating at the junior level, all those other teams, most times when they do come up against that same Cavalier unit at the junior level, they are steamrolled out of the park. Steamrolled.
Right, but you're suggesting to me that Speed is getting the best junior player.
No, he's not getting the best.
Well, okay.
He's not getting the best.
Okay, so he cultivates them and develop them into being the best because they're winning on the junior level, right?
Yes, they see almost every. I think the under 15 title the other day that they won, they have been winning that title from, I can't remember how long back. Cavaliers is the only team to have won certain titles 5 years in a row. Right. And to win a junior title is harder than a senior, I don't know if you realize why it's harder to win at a junior level.
Yeah, but leader, you don't win titles consistently unless you have some of the best players playing in your team.
Yeah, but hold on. Do you realize that compared to a senior team can have a group of players together for, say, 3 years and win 3 years straight? A junior team, almost every year, your players change. Because if it's an under 30, under 15, you're not going to have a team that wins under 13 with a group of 10-year-olds,
Suppose
you basically go, you understand?
Suppose you have a brilliant scout who's recruiting players for you.
That is part of it, but hold on. If you only have, look here, a jeweler, right, who does work, you have a lot of great jewelers around the place, but getting different grades of gold does make a difference. But it's what they do with the finished product, what they transform the gold into. You understand? Right. So I've seen players, right? I can tell you now. I can use Christopher Ainsworth as an example. I remember when he went to Barcelona, a lot of people don't even know this. Christopher Ainsworth went to Barcelona as one of the top 13-year-olds how many years ago? There were 3 other players with him. The only one that right now is somewhere in the mix that people will know the name is Brian Burkett. He went, but he wasn't, he was one of the top 4. He wasn't the top one, but he was in there. But the other 2, a guy named Leon Brown that played for St. Andrews Technical, nowhere close to Ainsworth now. Even Burkett is nowhere close to him. So I'm just saying,
people don't.
This kid was developed in a Cavalier program by a coach that has carried him to right now. I'm going to tell you something. When that under 20, right, qualifies for the next World Cup, people are going to be talking about the Whisper Yes and the Romain Blake, but just like when the 1998 team qualified and everybody was raving about this young homegrown Ricardo Gardner, watch this young homegrown Christopher Ainsworth. A lot of people don't realize how good this kid is. This kid is one of the most skillful players out there that people don't even know. It's just that he's so versatile. He can play anywhere from in the back, going straight up to as a forward. He's that good.
So he's going to matriculate to the senior team for the World Cup qualifiers?
I have no idea, I do have nothing to do with the JFF, so I can't say.
Okay. Interesting. You still there, Brian? Or you left us?
No, I'm here. I'm listening to Leader.
This is your program, Brian.
Leader. No, I'm allowing Leader to speak for a while. So Leader.
So like you eating dinner, And I'm starving.
Yeah, man. So, leader.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Mr. Speed coaches Cavalier youth teams.
Sometimes, some of them. We have a number of different coaches, but it's when the teams normally travel, he's normally the top coach because one of the things we try to make sure that we have the best coach with the team when it reaches a certain stage. But we have a number of other coaches. When we beat Tottenham Hotspur some years back, the coach that did it was, I think, a former coach that was at Kingston College, who has done quite well. That's a household name now. Raymond Watson Stampy. So we have had a number of them. Lamar Morgan has been one of the more successful youth coaches that I can think of while at Cavalier. There are several coaches that have come there, and have done quite well. We believe in also giving young coaches a chance. And a number of those young coaches that once they get that chance, you see them move on to higher heights. As I said, Lamar Morgan is one that is quite good. Even though he's doing a lot of physical training, but he's a quite very, very good coach. And we have other guys that have done the same thing. So we believe in giving that exposure to young coaches also.
Okay, leader. So no, fresh God, I haven't finished. Yeah, Richard Crawford, Denzel McKenzie scored a goal today, for the under 20, a good free kick. They actually beat Trinidad 3-1, I think. Yeah. So Paris Humberline, Harborview. Okay, so I know Harborview lost Bradford, like I said. They brought a player from Dunby Holding called Rohan Brown. Yeah, he's an attacking midfielder. And I know they got a player from Malines, Dujan.
There's an
Gordon.
overseas player that came into Harborview now.
Go again, leader?
There's an overseas player, I can't remember the name. There's an overseas player that came in recently.
Oh, he has played already?
I think so.
I haven't seen him. You're talking an African player?
Yeah.
No, man, I thought him have a seen him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dujan Green. I think he's a Harborview youth player, Fresh God. So he would have just came up. He's that player that used to play at Kingston College. So he just came up into the team. I think he was a Harborview youth player though. Yeah, if it's that player I'm talking, Fresh God, that player has been there from summer. Chukwumeka, or what did Fresh God say? Yeah, if other player the leader talk, yeah, he's been there from the summer.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Yeah. Malik, I don't know where Malachi Douglas is. Last I heard, Malachi Douglas was being managed by Phoenix, so I don't know. Yeah, Fresh God, they got a defender named Dujan Gordon. He used to attend Camperdown from Mullins. How about you got him? Brought him in. I don't know where Malachi Douglas is, or Theon Coopy, or any of those players. But the last I heard Mr. Butler said that Phoenix is managing Douglas and another player from Clarendon College. Don't quite remember who that player is now.
Hold on, before I forget, I just mentioned it. Has he come back though? Kevin Wilson.
No, Wilson is over in Belgium.
And I was hearing that he was transferred back to Harborview. Are you sure?
Last time I checked, kid is in Belgium. Fresh God said Coop is supposed to be at Dunby Holding. Oh, I don't know. 12th place, Mullines. They did some business in the window. Yeah, see, Fresh got him the Belgium the leader, so I'm not sure. Where is Dre with the Harbor View News? So Dre has his channel, but I think, yeah, you may have to pay a subscription fee to get the Harbor View exclusive. Hodges is at Dunbehold in Fresh Garden. He's always been there though, so I don't know if I haven't seen him play from the start of the season, so I'm not sure. I checked Douglas is still at Dunbehold. Yeah, but I haven't seen him playing though, so I don't know. He's one of those kids that I thought should have been playing too, because he has good ability. Seems to be a good leader too, because almost every time I see him play for a team, he's the captain. So, which means people think he's a good leader. He can.
Needs to his physical condition. He needs to work on that. Seriously.
He never said he lose weight, but him catch himself.
Kranky. Leader. Yeah, so Mullines. So they got 4 players from Dunby Holding: Odin Samuels, Carlos Robinson, a goalkeeper, Sean Duar, and Romain Bowers. So they got those 4 from Dunby Holding. Oh, who lead that? Douglas or Hodges? Oh, I'm not sure Fresh gun. Oh, and they got Romario McPherson too. 5 players. And then they transferred this player from St. George's College. He was playing for Central Kingston, Zabir Taylor. Zabir Taylor. And the St. George's College goalkeeper too is there now. Dijon Davis, Jason Risa player. Devon Porter, Rodave Murray's at Mobe last time I checked out. Last time I checked, he was at Mobe United, but he's struggled with some injuries though, So I think that has been hampered him since he left Dintil. He's been struggling with some injuries. And Mullines got a player by the name of Dante Duncan from Waterhouse. They call him Buster. He used to be a Phoenix player as well. I don't remember if he played for Mona High, but I know he used to be a Phoenix player. So yeah, that's it. Hold on, let me check something. Yes. Next up, we have Treasure Beach. I saw a player at Treasure Beach I used to play for Mobe, Xavier Lamont. He's a left back. He left Mobe to join Treasure Beach. And I see Rafiq Bryan is playing for Treasure Beach now. That's the former Jamaica College.
Rafiq, that's where he is now?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
He scored last week against Portmore as well in the last 3-1.
Okay.
Yep. He's one of those kids that they said had an opportunity to go to Europe and came back to play in the Manning Cup, and yeah.
He was in Turkey. He was actually in Turkey, and he was convinced to come back and finish playing do his last season of Manning Cup. After that, I think his agent just locked him out of his mind because he said that was just a joke.
I know he had an injury and he had to do a knee surgery a couple years, maybe a year or so ago. So yeah. So those are the players I know that went to Treasure Beach: Xavier Lamont and Brian. And finally, for Lime Hall, there's only one new player I saw: Marlon Pennycook. Marlon Pennycook. He was at some team
I
in
think he had gone to Chapelton at one stage.
yeah, and he's at Limehall
Mhm.
now. He's the only player I know that joined Limehall. I don't know anybody else. Treasure Fresh got a couple of players left Treasure Beach. Um Dwight Spence. Rafiq Bryan and Xavier Lamont. Those are the ones I know. Um them have about 6 players. Oh. Me not know them play the Fresh God. Well I haven't I was checking but I only came up with those two. Um yeah. And I came up with one from Limehall. So that's it for the JPL. Like I said, Kranky, it's always a secret when players move in the JPL. You only know when you see them playing. The folks.
Leader, do we have a reason as to why that's the case? Is there a way to change that? Leader, if
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
no, there's going to be a secret. It's a secret league. Most leagues, people publicize transfers, you know. They don't keep it a secret.
Hold on, Fresh God. Corey Mendez. Is Corey Mendez a Rasta player, Fresh God? Corey Mendez. Yeah, me know Devontae Redman. I don't know where Redman came from, you know. So I couldn't tell if he was always a Limehall player or he just went there. But Corey Mendez is a Rasta player. I think I saw him.
So we have 10 minutes left in the program. Have we covered all the transfers so far?
Yes.
I think so. What I can say about though that when you look at the bottom two, I think you can see. For me, I think their fate is sealed. I'm going to be honest. This at this
Um,
time is the first time I can think I've seen the bottom two fate probably seal at this stage.
Hold on, leader. Danny Dredd, what kind of license does Tapa have? Tapa has a B license, and I think he's a part of the A license cohort now. I think he's a part of the last
Yes. We'll be
team.
getting a license soon.
He's a part of the last cohort that went to do the A license.
That's good, actually. So we'll have what? How many A license coaches we have in Jamaica apart from Speed?
None.
So he's the only one?
Yep.
He's finished his
No wonder they say he's the best coach.
Well, he's the most qualified easily.
Not because you're gonna A in the exam, make it the best.
Oh well, I don't know. I don't know what license they because Mobe have an overseas coach, you know. I don't know what license he has.
Well, one of the things I know that and I think you can see this when the Cavalier team plays, that they're able to change. If you look at how they played against an Arnett, it's obvious that they can change the pattern that the style that they normally play at. You know, they can adjust depending on how the coach wants them to. So that's one of the things for me that is a good forte.
Is that good or bad, leader?
No, what happens, is that one other thing I think I understand that you do when you do a license, that you're taught to how to analyze and break down teams, So you might know that okay, you're going to be playing lines, this is you already have your plan based off of how they play, what to do to break them down. And the players are taught this because one of the things I noticed, I spoke to a player that is with the under 20 team the other night. And I spoke to him about the match that he played against the club team. And when he was speaking back to me, his analysis, it's almost like I was speaking to a coach like a Mr. Speed. When he was speaking about breaking down the various lines and so on and so on, I said, hold on there. Seriously, it's a 17-year-old kid I'm talking to. You could hear that he was taught. And that's one of the things I think that Mr. Speed likes work with the youngsters because they're easier to absorb and understand what he wants them to do. Because it's not just taking up any player to go into his system. You work with them, make them understand what you want. And that's one of the things that when we have our coaches or overseas coaches, they tell you, they're going to need time to get to do what they want them to do. You understand? It takes some time to make them understand. But some of the older players, it's harder for them because they have not had that football education, being at the high school level, you know, so they have not been exposed to certain things that make them. Football is not just about putting the ball on your foot and going out there, you know, because we have had players in the past like a Teddy Johnson that has a debut and dribble through a side. And then after that, he just slides on because everybody works him out because he can't think out certain aspects of the game.
Yeah, but leader, if you're being truthful though, because I heard you were saying something about players from like you were saying that they're at the school and they're probably not getting the coaching, but I put it to you that maybe the school alone is not to be blamed because a lot of these players they play for clubs.
Yeah, but look here. Hold on. When you say a lot of these players play for clubs, hold on. When we were doing up our list the other day, for the under 20, they were so, you know, I saw this list that was going around the place, right? And there were so few. You had people that were criticizing and saying, oh, this player's left out. But I don't think that there were 30 players,
Leader,
right?
Leader, hold on. You're saying you saw this list.
I saw the list.
I have it on good authority that you are the one that created that list.
I saw the list.
You never created it?
Well, if I create it, I'd have to see it also, don't it? I can't do it being blind, you know.
Leader. Leader. Hey, Kranky. You made a comparison to me earlier and another individual. I put it to you that leader is more in that line than myself.
Oh, okay.
But seriously though, you have so few players, right, from that school level actually playing, you know, in the Premier League where you're expecting to have some of the better coaches. I know when you go down to tier 2 now, you have probably some others there. But when you start going the lower, you're going, you know, the standard of the coaches that they're going to.
Yeah, but leader,
isn't that much better from who they're going to get in high school?
Yeah, but leader, let's be honest though. Save and accept Cavalier and Portmore United. The younger players find it difficult to get minutes or time.
Arnett.
Clubs.
Arnett. They get minutes there at Arnett after when they come back in. Yeah, man, Arnett
got another 17-year-old that play Premier League.
No, they don't have a 17-year-old.
Okay.
Only Portmore and Cavalier can really say that. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying, even though you may say the players need to go and get minutes and stuff, I'm saying the forum for them to be able to be a part of where they can get this development.
Hold on. Question. Mr. Mighton, I'm going to ask you something. While you were managing a certain club, how many, let's say 17, 18-year-olds used to be there coming to training, actually trying to make the team? Just wondering. On a given day, when you had your squad of, say, 30, how many of them do you remember being 17-year-olds? I'm just asking.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. So why is it that the players themselves now would not even be trying? And I would think that, okay, boy, a team that is lower down, maybe it's easier for them to make that team.
Do you know, say them not get no opportunity?
No, they don't want to try. Because that's the thing. Some of them, they don't want to try. Because just like how when I spoke to you the other day, I said, hold on, let me send these two youngsters to my lines. They live fairly near, and it's a Premier League. I don't want them to play at that lower level because when they play in Major League, it's not going to help them. You understand?
But the truth is, leader, you have to strike a balance too, you know, right? So, Kranky, here's the thing. The kids, them, maybe some of them are not going, maybe a lot of them are not going out, but history has shown that you don't have a lot of them playing. So even although a lot of them may not go out, over the last 5-6 years, the majority of them have only been playing at the clubs that I just highlighted, Cavalier and Portmore.
But why is that? That's what I'm trying to get to understand now. Why is that?
Maybe in every other club you have like a one player or a 2 player, but
There are hundreds of players in the Manning Cup every year. Hundreds.
yes, leader, but I'm saying the coaches, I don't think, are willing to give the kids the opportunity. That's what I think. For whatever reason it is, maybe they have a good reason too, but the truth is, I don't think you have a lot of them who are willing to give the kids the opportunity.
Which club is Frescard with?
Humberland.
They have a 15-year-old that starts for Humberland.
No, it's in the squad. It's a 16-year-old start.
They have a 16-year-old starting. What position is that?
I don't remember, but Malik Robbins is a midfielder. No, they have a 17-year-old too,
Oh, no. When they say Malik Robinson. I know him.
Yeah, man, but they have a kid by the name of Swaby. He's 17.
Swaby is from Glenmuir.
I don't know where he's from, but I know him started in their last.
No, okay, no, I know some of those young kids. But when they say recently, that's just the other day. Freshman talking like I know some of those younger kids that are there. That's just recently. Or he said recently. So but I'm thinking about maybe last.
Yeah, gentlemen, I have to run. So, leader, you can continue this conversation. So, choose Brian and leader, but I do have to run.
Yeah, man, no problem. We'll just be for a few minutes.
Okay.
So, leader, him is, yeah, when you say recently still, yeah, I mean, in this window, I think, remember
it's just this window. It is actually just this window. I know it's just this window. That's what I'm saying.
Leader, remember that the club and the coaching changed.
Yeah, and they have been giving these youngsters a chance now. So why couldn't these youngsters, these same youngsters here, go to say Mullines, right? Because it's a number of them, when I think about it, because this is where Claire Clark is. I know about the Malik Robinson. And these are just who I can call. There are more than 5, I think, they have in the match day squad now, under the age of.
Leader, but the kids live in Clarendon. Why you want him to come to town?
Hold on. Matthew Ellis, that plays for Cavalier, he doesn't live in the corporate area.
Where does he live?
He lives somewhere in the bushes of St. Catherine, far away, man. Far away.
He's going to school?
I really can't comment on anything with the senior team. I can't give those full details. I don't know.
So it would be unreasonable for a kid who lives in Clarendon, goes to school in Clarendon, to come and play for a team.
Okay, hold on. I can give an actual example of one of my youth kids from my youth team that won the under 15 the other day. We have a player that lives in St. Anne's that leaves out at about 4 o'clock in the mornings. And Mount Pleasant knows about him. He's not an Arik. He was a kid that had captained JC when they won under 14 some years back. He won the under 15 with Cavalier club team, and he leaves from St. Anne's early in the morning as probably 4 o'clock to make 7 o'clock training in Kingston, and he does it.
And go back to school.
No, on a weekend now when school is not in, he does it. When Cavalier they change their time. He actually goes to Dintil, right?
Yes,
so they leave. Yes.
Saying to you that you can see difficulty in a kid who lives in Clarendon, goes to school in Clarendon, why it would be difficult for him to come and play for a team in Kingston or in the corporate area. Can't you see that difficulty?
I see the difficulty, yes, but there are a lot of other teams that they can go to. Well, you have, as I said, there's Humberland there.
They're but they're at Humberland now.
Okay. Sorry. I didn't even want to say, well, just a Humberland. But look, at say, if we're looking at the St. Elizabeth team right now, then, okay, Treasure Beach, right? There's a trove of players. The coach is from Stets. Why are they not having more of those younger players that have left Stets over like a year, 2 years ago in that team? Because when I look at that team, it's not really a young team, Why isn't it?
Me see them have one of the goalkeepers that they play for them now. He used to attend Stets, I think his name is Moy Morgan. So he used to be a Stets player. So
But that's just one. You're not getting what I'm saying. Why am I
Yeah,
not seeing 7, 8, 9?
me hear your point, you know. I'm not disputing your point to say that them shouldn't have more, you know. But the truth is, Brian, man, hold on, Brian, play at the field on West Main Drive. So the Mullins training field is at Justice Park, Gunners Boss. But no, they haven't had any home games since they've been in the Premier League at their venue. I think maybe towards the end of the season or early next season they will have home games. But leader, like I'm saying, if we are being truthful, the opportunity has not been presented to these players in large numbers.
So
And
hopefully, now that
no.
we have some of the coaches being more qualified now and are able to probably try to carry through some more of these players, we'll see more of these younger players
Yeah,
matriculated in.
They will I guess be more developed. So chances are you would be able to see them coming through now and being able to purport their skills in a much better way.
Well,
Chris Wright got fired last year, and we have a lot of younger players now. Yeah, I mean, it was always a surprise to me that they had two teams from Clarendon and in the Da Costa Cup, especially in the regular phase, group stage, I think the Clarendon group is always the strongest, in terms of most
it
competitive.
is.
Lennon, Garbo Macio, Clarendon College, Glen Muir.
However, most of
So,
those players, where do they come from?
yeah,
Not Clarendon.
Yes, I know that they are corporate era players, but I'm saying, even with the advent of this new rule now where you can't have the transfers and stuff, you will find more Clarendon players playing for these schools as well. So,
Yes, you will.
yeah, but I mean, the new coaching change now and young players are there, so
I hope
hopefully,
if
we can
Humberland does the right thing and just keep these guys, it's not going to be instant success. And don't throw them away. Take the time, develop them. The success will come.
that's the thing sometimes though, with this sort of thing where you have young players, sometimes when you're not getting the success, there's always a temptation to bring in experienced players, for want of a better term, as a way to get the success that you need. So you have to try and strike a balance, between.
Mr. Martin, you know
Yeah,
what should have happened when the JFF gave all the clubs that leeway of no relegation? That
yeah,
is when those clubs should have all retooled. Press the reset button and just say,
yeah.
look here, just get rid of some of the dead wood, so to speak. Get
Yeah, leader,
Jefferson them.
some clubs saw it as an opportunity to try and win the league. So
Hey,
let me see.
look here,
Let find the balance.
Brian. What is the prize money for the league,
I
please?
don't even know. I do not even know.
Nah, man, you're a part of the administration. Come on,
Leader,
man. You
I am
up to
being
last year, what was the prize money?
Leader, I am being honest. I have no clue what the prize money is.
Isn't it just a little over $1 million, Jamaican?
Leader, when I say I don't know for sure, I
Oh well,
don't.
I as far as I understand, it's not as much as 2 million. It's a little less than something like that, somewhere around that. I'm going to say somewhere between $1 to $2 million. And Brian, I'm going to ask you something, right? I know you're in the banking field, right? The current the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup that they had the other day. You have any idea of how much money some of those clubs got just to participate?
I think it's 160,000 US.
How much is that in J dollars? Help me out. Can I go that maths?
I don't think that would even really matter, leader.
No, it does, because when you look at that,
The reason why, hold on. The reason why So that is approximately 25 million Jamaican dollars.
For a for something that he basically going to play for not even 3 months.
Hold on, leader. Remember, you know. But out of that money, remember that all the games are not played in Jamaica. So they have to travel.
Two of the teams had most of the matches in Jamaica.
Yeah, but I'm saying, let's say, for example, there was a situation where you only had one Jamaican team in a group. So you'd have to travel. And even if it's in Jamaica, none of those clubs have a home venue that could host a CONCACAF club championship game. So they had to go and rent a venue.
So, Mr. Martin, tell me something here now. Out of that, near over 20 million.
25 million.
Right? Over 20 million. Let us go work. We'll just round it off at just 20. Yeah. Do you think that those clubs use 50% of that money for the season? Just those that didn't go anywhere now. We're going to use a Dunby then per se.
Leader, you know, Mr. Speed said it cost him $3 million for host a game, a CONCACAF game.
And okay, let me use that figure. $3 million. How many CONCACAF games did he have in the first round? How many matches he had? About 3? Was 3? It wasn't as much as 3. About 2. Yeah, but to host, say
you that host 3 home games. Yeah, 4 in one zone, 3 home games.
Okay, so that cost you about $9 million there. They can just round it off at that.
And then
even though Mr. Speed venue, them expensive still, so.
And then the travel go overseas 3 times.
So no, honestly, okay. So I could double it up. So you really think that it is gonna cost that, even if it costs you 18 million, say it costs you 18 million. The balance that you would have left, which is about 7, is more than the Premier League winning prize.
Yes, I agree with you, leader. I'm agreeing with you. But I'm just saying, even although you make that large amount of money, you still see we're going back in expenses. I'm saying, I put it to you that in the JPL, you have teams where spend close to $25-30 million a year.
We know the teams that we know the team that we're speaking about. Leader, we know the team.
Leader,
I don't have the teams.
Leader, I am not talking about Mount Pleasant. All right, leader. And hold on, let me show you a simple math. On average, let's say you pay players then.
But we're not going in the JPL, you know. It's not the JPL we're looking at, you know. Because
leader, how much do you think it costs to run a club at one time?
I have no idea. I have nothing to do with any senior club.
You provide basic things. You look on about $2.5 to $3 million. Times 9. So the truth is, your best bet if you really try to qualify for CONCACAF.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Because I'm sure I'm going to use Dunbolen as an example here. I am sure that when after all of this, the money would have been taken out and spent and so on, I'm sure that there's at least a $5 million profit in there somewhere. Yeah. Because I've heard of stories that went on in the CONCACAF thing that, boy, was scandalous. But I know a lot of clubs enjoyed that thing. They enjoyed it.
Yeah, leader, but you must enjoy it because you're getting more money.
Not the players, you know. Not the players.
I know.
We're talking about the owners of those clubs.
I'm saying the club will get more money for that competition than they would get for even 2 or 3 JPL seasons.
Yeah. So
of course, yes, but you have to remember too that playing in the JPL sometimes your club can incur debt and them stuff that you know. So you even though you get a good money, you will always have recurring expenses and creditors that you might owe to and stuff. So
I said the little money that you get for that just wipe away.
It's not leader, I tell you reasonably. you can see where the money they going and nobody
Yeah,
now.
hang around. You definitely am Mr. Speed's mentor, so man. Mr. Speed has mentored you well.
No, me I tell you can
You're a real
definitely
manager, man.
no leader. Me I tell you can look and see where the money there it going and nothing untoward happen where nobody a try to take the money or nothing. Yo, the football thing expensive, Bridget. I tell you, sometimes me I say people them a run clubs. Yeah, me think them forget some statue of a stadium, bro. Because most times, 90% of the time, you're not making a profit. And
That's
even
why
if
you need to get young players. Get
yes,
young players.
true.
A
And
transfer, even a transfer alone, can wipe off all of that. One transfer.
yes, leader, we not think one because sometimes, remember you're not doing a leader. Remember sometimes the money what you make for one transfer, the money that was spent back to the club, I try help 30 or
Yeah,
some
but
like a couple like Cavalier, we have senior team, three junior team, and a female team. Any money what they make from the male Premier League transfers or prize money or whatever, the money that trickle down back to all other team,
no, we
So,
understand that. We understand. That's why you have a lot of teams that don't even have a female team. So we know that. But
or even the three youth teams them under 13, 15, 17, 20, about four youth teams. So it can I mean I guess with some clubs you might say you don't need a under 20 because you might be looking that if after a player finish under 17, you may be looking to expose him into your senior team. So maybe you may say, well, I probably don't need an under 20 team based on the average age of my team. My young players who finish under 17 will most likely transition into my senior team. So yeah, maybe we are against that background. They may not need a um uh under 20, but yeah, the football thing it quite costly. That's why I always implore the people them go out and go watch the JPL and pay on the money when they go. Stop beg the club them everybody want a free ticket. And when the club them a sell a jersey, buy them. Support the thing because our league, no matter what, we have to support it and we have to make it reach a certain level. But if you not even want to go watch a senior team, even when free, so I mean, but leader, I'm going to be taking my leave now.
yeah,
Thanks,
man.
Kranky, for being on with us for the
Yeah,
better
man.
part
So
of 2
I'll
hours.
cut in down now, yeah? I'm going
Yeah,
to just get an important call. Yeah, man.
thanks to the persons who came on to the stream and participated. Big up the persons in the comment section. People, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to I Am Sure Sports. See Fresh God say once you can go to Umberland Games, you will be there. So big up the people them Fresh God, Gunners Boss, Aldin, Claudine who was on earlier, Mr. United, Travis, Malik. Travis are the first to come on the stream and behave yourself. Well done, Travis. Christopher Wright, Devon Porter. Yeah. Devon Porter, man, I try to get a contact for the person who you asked about earlier, the player. Jason Guna. Yeah, man, respect, bro. Yeah, I mean, once we have information about the JPL, we are going to always give information. Oh, before we go, let me just do a quick, give some quick information. So yeah, people, our money's when we're gonna have the JPL show. Mr. United, no team. People, our money's when we're gonna have the JPL show. Anytime we see him on the street, we're gonna ask him about it. Anytime we see him on the street, we ask what is bad about it. I make gonna have a show. But so before we go, match week 17, that will take place on February 4th and 5th. So first set of games, double header, Jackson, Limehall versus Treasure Beach. Second game, Mount Pleasant versus Mullines. Those games will be showed on Sportsmax. People, download the Sportsmax app. Or I think you probably can watch it on the Sportsmax YouTube channel. Next up, Mobay hosts Veer at Westpaw Park. Mobay will be unleashing the 7 new players they brought in. Portmore hosts Dunby Holding, St. Catherine Derby, that's at Fred Nita Park, 3 p.m. Waterhouse versus Cavalier at the Waterhouse Mini Stadium at 4 p.m. And on Monday, at Stadium East doubleheader, you will have Humble Lion host Harborview and Tivoli Gardens host Arnett Gardens. The clash of the gardens. Those games on Monday will be showed on Sportsmax 5 and 7:30 p.m. So people, go out, support the JPL, support the players them, give them constructive criticism. Aldean, Brian Stevenson, Chelsea. Dre anyway you don't tell me the ball them a transfer go Harborview, Dre anyway. Tell me some wait for you, tell you some players a transfer go Harborview. Dre anyway sports. Tell you some players. Fresh got say one Lion. So people, yeah, go out and support the JPL, support the players them, support the coaches, support the clubs. When you go to the games, pay money to go in. Don't bother with it, don't beg no free ticket. Pay and go in and go watch the JPL. Hey, you know, I find surprising the people them want to cost the player them. When in the world I want to go to the match them free, the players them not get no pay, you know. Them can't pay the players them can't perform. So go out and support tomorrow. Tomorrow evening or sometime tomorrow, we'll try to have a preview of the JPL results thus far and a review for the week ahead. If the show not keep, but no see money's money not ask him. Alden, we are ending the show on a positive note. And I hope the host doesn't put up that comment. You will get more gray hair waiting than what you are. Try to shave them off. Wait a minute, I don't know what you're talking about. But you can't let the players are transferred to Harborview. I only know of 2 players, which I told the people them already. Yeah, so Alden, like I said, Chelsea received a flogging today from Liverpool. Not today, that was yesterday, sorry. We were just not good enough on the day. Devon Porter. Oh, people, Devon Porter is a big coach, you know. Let me tell you which part I see them say Devon Porter. I saw a flyer the other day with Devon Porter on it. I never thought that Devon Porter was actually like a top coach. Because last time he tell me say I'm a top cricketer, you know. And on both IG pages. Okay, wait a minute. Wait for the official announcement. Interesting. Devon Porter, I can't find the league. Devon Porter, tell us where you're coaching in Canada. If people, Devon Porter coach at a team in Canada, you know, in a league. It was a site the other day, you know, but I can't locate it now. But yeah, big up Devon Porter on his appointment or reappointment. You know, you have many coaches who have lost their jobs. Oh, people, interesting news coming. Not coming in. Interesting news. So far, 4 coaches have lost their jobs in the JPL. So there was a coaching change at Mullines. Alex Thomas went. Before him, Vassar Reynolds went. Jeremy Thomas from Magra won the Ben Francis Cup, is now the head coach, and Jeremy Miller, assistant coach at Kingston College, is now the assistant there. The first coach that went was the coach from Lima, David Price. he was replaced by Vonnie Clark. And Unseen Sports, Javon Parchment. And then Vonnie Clark, I think, left or stepped away. He was replaced by Llewellyn Purser. And after one game, Mr. Purser was no longer seen. And Unseen returned along with Vonnie Clark. Come at the hour, come at the man. So yeah.
I'll come back on for a few minutes. Are you saying Unseen coaching the JPL?
Yes. Unseen was a part of the coaching staff at Lime Hall. So this is what happened. So Lime Hall had a coach, brought them from the Tier 2 to the Premier League. And he and the club parted ways. And Unseen was there. And then
Unseen push him out?
No, Unseen was there. And then Vonnie Clark came. And then Vonnie Clark stepped away apparently, and they brought in another coach. And then I saw Unseen was there with that other coach. After one game, that coach was no longer there. The coach Vonnie Clark came back, and I'm not sure if Unseen went or is still there.
So no one can see Unseen. Can you get fired? Can't see.
No.
He lived up to his name.
And then at Humble Lion, Andrew Price and O'Neill Thompson, they and the club parted ways. And in came the Kingston College coach, Vassar Reynolds, who is the head coach there. And Casey's assistant coach is now an assistant coach at Malines.
Okay.
So both of the KC coaches are playing their trade in the Premier League.
That's
surprising.
It's a good thing.
I've only seen one Kingston College player playing in the Premier League.
Well, maybe they're recruiting.
From the Premier League to go to the Manning Cup?
Yeah. Because apparently, if they can't, maybe they've been in the Premier League, allow them to recruit the younger players who can play for both KC and in the Premier League team. You never know.
Oh, so Fresh God is telling us that Andrew Peart and Merron Gordon is at Humble Lion. Wow. That's a pretty packed coaching staff. Duckland, massive. They were on 4 points and now they're on 10. They're on 14. That answers your question. Duckland's Tenet. But yeah, Unseen is no, for real though, people, Unseen is coaching in the JPL. And I saw someone post some pics with some kids, because I never knew that Unseen was a track and field coach. So Unseen is quietly going about nation building.
So Unseen is a track and field coach and a football coach?
Yes. And a fitness coach. And a masseuse.
So what kind of coach is he for the Premier League team? Is he a fitness strategy? What does he do?
Well, most of what I saw him do is fitness related.
Oh, okay.
Yes. He's a fitness coach, you know. So maybe that's the area in which he's
his expertise.
No, yes. Why Andrew Price and Boystown alum not trying to rehabilitate the historic home? So Gunners boss, yes. A matter of fact, for the first time in almost a decade, Boystown played a home game at their venue. So they have a solar pump now. Field is being irrigated and being rehabilitated. Field now actually has a lot of grass on it. So yeah, they are doing some rehabilitation there. They hosted a game recently there. So yeah. So see, Unseen say a little of everything. So he's an all-rounder.
Okay.
Yes, I say a little bit of everything. But yeah, Kranky, it's time for us to take our leave. People,
Yes.
management says we'll have a JPL show tomorrow. If we don't have a show, when this management and ask him.
Well, everyone, thanks for joining us. We appreciate being here to give you the JPL roundup. We have no idea what the transfer fees were, but we do have ideas of what players transfer to what team during the transfer window, which my understanding runs from January 1st to the 31st. And in the summer, it runs from what?
From July
July
1st
1st to September 9th. All right.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. And as the Mr. MOS says, or Brian Mighty says, that tomorrow Manningsman will have another JPL show. I have no idea what the topic will be. But as he always says when we go out, and he's on assignment this evening, by the way, we are over and we are OUT out. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.